Hello, my friends, and welcome to CBe-learn Junior High information session. My name is Monti Tanner. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the assistant principal for this program. Now, I've been with CBe-learn for just over 18 years, and I love it. I love the work that we do with our students, with our families, with our community. I'm very passionate about online learning and looking forward to sharing some of the wonderful things that we are doing here in our junior high program. Now, with me this evening, I actually have a couple of my learning leaders are here. I've got Lisa Stuart is going to be monitoring some of the chat, and I've got Steve Clark here as well. So thank you very much to the two of you for being here to support us. Appreciate that a lot. Now, we have quite a number of things to cover in this fairly comprehensive presentation. We're going to do a overview of CBe-learn. We're going to talk about what learning online looks like, including synchronous and asynchronous learning. We're going to talk about some of the special things that we offer, some of our in-person learning. We'll talk about art, CTF. We'll talk about health and phys ed, and how the heck do you do phys ed in an online program? We'll talk about the clubs and events and some of the great things that we've got here. We'll go into a look at a sample of what the weekly work schedule looks like, including the daily and weekly rhythm, some specific information for parents and families and guardians and adults in the life is planning a workspace, guardian login, attendance reporting, what communication looks like, uh, typical experience online, and at the very end, an opportunity to see all of the teachers. So CBe-learn Junior High has been around for just over 20 years. And we've been doing this for a long time, even before everyone else was talking about online learning and what's all this about. We've been doing it for a long time. We offer a full complement of junior high courses for full-time online learners. And students really have the opportunity to experience a different learning structure. And every student is assigned to a homeroom class, and that's going to be the core of the work that they do. So, in lots of ways, we're like a traditional junior high. We've got teachers, we've got students. It's just our four walls look a little bit different. So, students receive instruction like in any other school, based on the Alberta Education Programs of Studies. They are going to learn English language arts, math, science, social studies, phys ed, like I talked about, health and life skills. They also have the opportunity to take career and technology foundations courses, also called CTF, and art courses. Now, like I said, our environment is what's different. So all courses are hosted inside Brightspace by D2L Learning Management System, but our teachers also use Google Workspace, including Google Meet for live sessions. Like a traditional environment, our courses run from September until June, split into two semesters, September to January, and then February to June. So right now we're in our second semester. All core courses are full year commitments. So students will take their math, their science, their social, their English, their phys ed, their health. They take that all year long. Students move through the course content as a cohort. And that means that they don't have the chance to finish courses early and to accelerate at their own pace. Again, like a traditional environment, the students are going through the material together with their teacher at the same time. So learning online might be new for some of you. And so we use two different modalities. We use synchronous and asynchronous activities to support student learning. So what does that mean? What does that mean? So synchronous learning It's real-time learning. It's with the teacher. It's using Google Meet. So the examples are video conference, like what we're doing here, live chat, live streamed video, something that's happening in real time. Now, this allows for instant feedback and clarification from the students. All students learn at the same time. Communication happens in real time. All courses have synchronous sessions offered through Google Meet, and these interactive sessions are live, presented in real time, and they're not saved or archived or recorded for students to review later. So it's really important that students attend those classes. Now, the other thing that we offer is asynchronous learning. So this is the student working on their own. This is them working typically at home, and they're using D2L. So some examples would be recorded videos, blog posts, discussions, or written instructions from the teacher. Information is available all the time, 24/7, and each student has some flexibility then when they can access that content and that material. This works really well for some of our families that have students that are traveling, for students that are in arts productions, that are athletes. This gives them the ability to access all of the core content and materials, some of the recorded videos, some of the teacher lessons. They can access all of that in their own time. Now, students in grade 7 to 9 are required to complete most of their work in an asynchronous manner. So the course material is available to students all week long, and students have to make the most of their asynchronous learning time. So we've talked about synchronous, which is like what we're doing now. We've talked about asynchronous, which is a little bit more static, a little bit more independent. And now let's talk about some in-person opportunities. This is something that we're really proud of that we offer here at CBe-learn. So students do have the opportunity to come in for social events, for field trips. Sometimes it's even for assessments, midterms, finals, that sort of thing. There's also a lot of physical education activities that happen in real life, IRL. On average, in our HPE classes, our health and phys ed classes, field trips occur about once a month. They are optional, like many of our activities, but we really do recommend that students take advantage of these opportunities. Now, parents are responsible for transportation to and from any venue, whether that be here located at Lord Shaughnessy, where most of our offices are, whether that be at the Windsor Park Home Education Center, or if it's students are going on a field trip downtown to Theatre Calgary, they're going to the Bow Habitat Station, wherever that is, families are responsible for getting their students to and from. Now, some field trips, like in every school, do have nominal fees that can be paid online through the My CBe Power School app. Um, if you do have concerns with paying for a field trip, I would ask you just to connect with me directly, and we don't want any student to miss out on an opportunity. There are some opportunities for in-person assessment, either the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, or the end of the year. Most of that will take place at one of our two locations, either here at Lord Shaughnessy or at our Windsor Park location, which some of you might be familiar with. Social events, field trips, and any sort of in-person activities, we always do our best to communicate that with families as far in advance as possible so you know exactly how to schedule your time. Something else that we offer at CBe-learn Junior High Online that we're very proud of is our art and our CTF program. So like I said at the beginning, CTF is our Career and Technology Foundation program. So these are mandatory courses, and like all of our courses, they follow the Alberta Program of Studies. In our junior high program, all students take two art and two CTF courses each year. So they end up taking four courses in total. We have a couple different formats for that. In grade 7, students are put into a group where they rotate through a variety of art courses and CTF courses throughout the year. Now, when it comes to grade 8 and 9, there's some choice and some selection. And so students actually have the opportunity to pick and choose from a large number, a growing number of courses that we offer. So in art, students can pick something from animation, comics, digital art, drama, which is hugely popular, drawing and painting. From the CTF strands, Career and Technology Foundations, they can pick 3D design, coding, fiber and fashion, foods, graphic design, and photography. And every year, every semester, we have some great projects, some great assignments that students do. Our students love their art and their CTF classes, and our teachers love them too. I'll also talk about our health and physical education. So, health and life skills is tied into our physical education curriculum. Sometimes you'll see this called HBE. It's one of our abbreviations, Health and Phys Ed. Health and life skills is helping students to make healthy choices and to develop behaviors that contribute to the well being of themselves and to others. One component of health and life skills is the human sexuality component. Now, parents and guardians do have the right to exempt their child from this instruction, and schools will provide alternative learning experiences for students who have been exempted. That's information that is sent out at the beginning of the year from the student's health and phys ed teacher. When it comes to physical education, currently students are meeting twice a week, once about midweek, once about the end of the week for their live scheduled session. But in addition to that, we have the expectation of daily physical activity, and learners need to engage in a minimum of 30 minutes of physical activity a day. What that looks like is going to be different for every family and is going to be different for every student, but that's the general expectation. As I'd mentioned in our section on field trips, we have a lot of formal and informal field trips associated with our health and phys ed. Sometimes the more informal field trips won't require payment, won't require you to sign into your account to book something, because it will be the teachers going on a hike in the city, picking a park in one of the quadrants of our city and meeting with their students there. So again, it's your responsibility to get your students there, but it's not as formal as booking a spot at the climbing wall or booking something at bowling alley. One of the other great things that I love about our school are the clubs that we offer. So we actually have quite a few clubs and events going on. Now, these are optional, but they are opportunities for students to connect with each other outside of their traditional classroom time. And what I love so much about this is students are the one that put these clubs forward. So if your student's super interested in something, super passionate about something, they talk to their homeroom teacher and say, "Listen, I really want to start up this kind of club. I want to get together and I want to do some knitting. I want to do some crocheting. Let's start a knitting club." We'll find a teacher, someone that's passionate, someone that's excited about that. We'll find that right teacher, get them connected with that student, and then it becomes something that we offer to everyone. So what you see on your screen here, this is just a sampling of some of the clubs that we offer right now. So we've got an art club that meets every couple weeks. We have a cooking club, which is so much fun. I actually had the chance to sit in the cooking club just before the spring break, and it was awesome. It was around lunchtime. People were doing They were showing their recipes, they were showing their kitchens, lots of baking going on, and some cultural foods that were being cooked. And the only disadvantage to that is you could see it, but you can't taste it when you're meeting online. We've got things like a GSA, we've got Hacker Gal, we've got a Math Time Club, we've got a Minecraft Club, and one of our newest clubs is a writing club. And that actually, again, came from students that said, listen, I like writing poetry. I actually really like writing fan fiction. Can we get together and I can share some of my work with some of the students? And we love that. Some of the different events that we have. And again, these ones are all in person. Like I said, we've done bowling, rock climbing. Our art and CTF teachers have done a couple times. They've gone to an art gallery with the students. We've had some students attend productions at Theatre Calgary. In December, we typically offer some sort of a winter event right before we break for the winter break. In June, we do end of the year celebration as well, which is always a lot of fun, super well attended. And this year and last year, we actually do a spring dance, and our spring dance is coming up just next week. And so it's an opportunity for all of our students, grades 7, 8, and 9, to come together in a more casual, more social kind of way. Now, what we're doing for the spring dance, we know not everyone's into dances. Not everyone enjoys that, but we wanted to make sure that there's some alternative activities. So it's a dance and activity day. We're going to have some indoor activities, some outdoor activities, but we're really encouraging all of our students and families to come and participate in that. So that's a lot of the um, options and opportunities that we offer students. But what I want to look at next is what a week actually looks like. So as you can see on the screen here, very clearly, this is a sample only. This is a sample schedule. This is not something written in stone. We know that there are changes and adjustments, but in general, I think that this will give you a good idea of what the week looks like. So you'll see on Monday marked in green on there, that's homeroom. Now we believe that homeroom is kind of the cornerstone to a lot of the work that we do with our students. And having it first thing on Monday morning is a wonderful opportunity for all of our students and their teachers to get together, plan out and map out what the week looks like. Now, homeroom is separated into grade level groups. So if you have students that are going into grade 7 next year, they will be grouped with other grade 7 students in their homeroom. They'll have between 15 and 20 students in that class, depending on the grade level, and they will stick with those students throughout the entire year. You'll see later on Monday, it's actually designated as the Science Day. So you'll see 3 different blocks of science. Now, does that necessarily mean that your little kiddo is sitting in front of the computer for three and a bit hours being yapped at by the teacher? Absolutely not. What that means is that's the time for them to get their science brain working. That's the time for them to do their science work, watch their science videos, have some of their interactive online sessions with their teacher, and to do some of their asynchronous work. You'll see later on in Monday in the afternoon, there's the opportunity for the grade 7 CTF in art and for some of the grade 8 and 9s to have their CTF then. Some of them have it on a different day. The thing you'll notice at the very bottom there in gray is teacher office hours. Now, if you look forward to the week there, you'll see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Every single day, we have scheduled teacher office hours. So this means there is always the opportunity for your student to schedule a time with the teacher for a one-on-one meeting to make sure that they're where they need to be. If you look over to Tuesday, you'll see something a little bit different. On Tuesday, one of the sample schedules that we've tried out specifically with our grade 9s is actually 2 core courses on that day. So we've got a couple blocks of math and a couple blocks of English. You'll see the same thing repeated on Thursday. So at the higher level, we've determined that we want to have more opportunities for our students in language arts and math to meet and interact with their teacher. So we've actually added that in twice there. You'll see right on this schedule here, Wednesday, we've got social studies, and Wednesday in the afternoon, as well as Friday in the afternoon, we've also got our health and phys ed. So, in general, even though we know there will be some changes to the schedule in any of our years going forward, this is the basic structure of what we're looking at. And so, during those times, during those blocks that you see there, your students would have the opportunity for some live, real time instruction. They would have the opportunity for some small class instruction. Your teacher might break them into breakout rooms or smaller groups. There might even be time for some one-on-one instruction, and there's time for them to do their asynchronous work. So there's a rhythm, there's a daily rhythm, there's a weekly rhythm. Now we know that every family is different, every child is different, but we do know that there's some consistency required in order to be successful. And we also know that a lot of this might be overwhelming. So, for any of you that are new to an online learning platform, this is a lot of information, and we're going through a lot here. But we know that and we understand that we want to be as supportive as possible to our students as well as to our families. So part of that is why we've built the structure in the way that we have. It really ensures that there is some flexibility, but also some accountability built into every single day. Communication, 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 communication. This is what it takes to be successful online. And we encourage you as families, as parents, as guardians to communicate with the school, to communicate with the teachers, and most importantly, communicate with your student. We're going to dive into a few more nitty gritty details, and this is specifically for how you, as the family, can best support your learner. They're going to need a workspace, they're going to need somewhere to do their work. It could be a desk in their room. It could be the dining room table. It could be in the kitchen. It's important that it's relatively free from distractions, that it's got appropriate lighting, that there's comfortable ergonomic seating for them, something that's organized, something that's their space. We always recommend students have headphones on, helps keep them in the game, especially if there's other things going around in the house. And it's also important to think about a space for some of these physical activities, whether it's jogging on the spot, doing some dance moves, doing some push ups. Having that sort of space available really is critical. Now, parents, you do have access to log in to My CBe or Power School, when this is where you can find academic information, the things like the grades, attendance. You can view some of the learning activities. You can pay any of the fees for the field trips, as I'd mentioned. You can even use this to book school conferences. So most of you who are watching this, I believe, are probably already CBe parents. If not, there is a link for you to be able to sign up to get new access to PowerSchool, www.cbe.ab.ca/mycbe, and you can get that application. Now, there's also something that might be new for some of you is Parent Portal for Bright Space by D2L. So this is an opportunity keep up to date with the ongoing learning that's happening. But what I really think is best, and the advice that I always give to families, is sit down with your kiddo. Sit down with them. Go through it with them. See what they see. Sit them down at the end of the science day and say, Mr. Tanner told me that Monday's science day. I know that you did science today. Let's sit down, let's go through it. What did you work on? What are you struggling with, and how can I help you? Why I encourage this is because the parent portal It's not perfect. It only has basic information. For the full, rich, rewarding experience, you want to sit down with your child and go through it with them. Now, like a traditional setting, we do take attendance. All of these live synchronous opportunities that I'm talking about, we're taking attendance. There is a legal requirement for anyone under the age of 16 to attend school, and so we do take attendance. If your student is not present in that synchronous class, they're going to be marked absence. We do have a form. We do have a sorry, my screen just I just lost my screen here. Give me 1 second here. Hopefully you can still hear and see me. Okay, thank you. Okay. Um my one screen went totally dead. Fortunately, I've got two screens, so I've moved over to my second screen here. So always have a backup, right? Attendance, again, is super important. There is a form for you to fill out. There is a form for you to complete. When you register your student with CBe-learn, you do get access to all of this information, and we will share this exact link with you, so you don't have to worry about jotting it down right now. But we always like to know if your student is going to be absent or away. Communication, 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 communication. As I said, this is so critical, so important. And so the best way for a parent or guardian to communicate with the school is through email. So that might be an email to myself, it might be to one of the teachers. That's always the best way to get a hold of us. We don't all work on site 5 days a week. We don't have access to telephone or voicemail. So email is sometimes the only way to get a hold of us. Specific questions about the course content, about assessment or reporting are always best sent directly to the child's teachers. Specific general questions about online learning, general questions about CBe-learn, about junior high, that can come to me. I can certainly help you out with that. Now, we don't ask students to communicate in this way because within each of their courses, they have what we call a private discussion. So, right within their English course, they have a separate space where it's just them and their English teacher. In science, they have a separate space where it's just them and their science teacher. And that's where we ask the students to communicate with their teacher. And that's where some of the learning and instruction and really good back and forth happens. This is a private space. Only the student sees it and only the teacher sees that. We also ask that that's not a space for parents to use. That is for the student to communicate directly with their teacher. And students really need to be in the habit of checking their private discussions every single day. So it's hard to say what a typical experience might look like for a student starting CBe-learn junior high, but in general, we say that students should be checking the announcements on their homepage of the course at the startup of each week. Teachers will be working synchronously with students daily in at least two different subject areas. Students are going to work asynchronously on their own on a daily basis with a schedule that they've already established. Parents, guardians, families, and adults should check in verbally with their children daily and be checking Power School at least weekly. That, my friends, is a lot of information. So I'm going to end the formal part of our presentation by introducing you virtually to our current staff. Um, Again, you've got me, you've got Steve Clark, Bella, and Lisa, who are our learning leaders for the junior high program. In our art and CTF course, we have Steve and Craig, who do some phenomenal work. In health, life skills, and phys ed, which is also called HPE, we've got Ken and Shada. Our grade 7 team, we've got Andrea, who currently does English and social. We've got Liz, who does science and math. Grade 8, we've got Julie in English and social. We've got Tash doing science and math. Our grade 9 team, and just because we have a much larger number of grade 9 students, we've got Jillian in math, we've got Barbara in social, Michael in English language arts, and Amanda in science. The best place for all of the updates, information, anything that you need is our website, CBe-learn.ca. That is one that you can write down, and that's a place where you can go to find lots of great information about our program and about all of the options and opportunities that we offer for students.